Happy Luke Cage binging, everyone. Are you up to episode 5 of Marvel's Luke Cage yet? If you aren't, get off this video and come back when you have. If you are, I'm ready to talk about my favorite part of Marvel's Luke Cage, which is the fact that he's the first superhero that I can think of in recent memory, especially in terms of Marvel movies, where he is just known as Luke Cage to the world as a superhero. He doesn't have another name for his superhero identity. He's not hiding the fact or really under the radar like Jessica Jones was, even though her name was her identity. Everyone knows Luke Cage is a superhero who they can go to for help. The villains know that he's the one who's causing them trouble, and he can just walk down the street and get a coffee and do normal everyday things while just casually being a superhero. I think that is super cool because I keep using the comparison of everyone knows Tony Stark as Iron Man, but he wouldn't just be walking down the streets of Manhattan. Thor isn't just, going and grabbing a donut at the local donut shop. Like, these are larger than life heroes. And for Luke to just be still an everyman, but also an everyman who has these abilities is something really interesting. I'm constantly struck by these scenes of him interacting with people, again, on the streets of Harlem in broad daylight, where everyone just knows, oh, hey, you can come to him for help, or hey, he's the person who's causing trouble. I think this particularly makes the relationships between Luke, Cottonmouth, and Mariah Dillard really, really complex, because while, especially Cottonmouth, people know that he's the bad guy, Mariah still is doing her best to try and be on the right side of the law and not get as caught up in the things that her cousin is doing. But it just adds this extra richness, the fact that people aren't hiding behind alter egos, that it really is what started to make Luke Cage feel really special for me. Because I think in the first few episodes, these were the sort of superhero stories we'd maybe seen before on the surface, but this just adds an extra layer to it, and especially to the idea of being a street level hero, which is what the Marvel Netflix shows are supposed to be doing. So I'm really interested to see how that plays out. Obviously, things can't be all good for Luke forever, and I think one of the reasons he was sort of hung up on coming out with who he was to the world, other than the fact that he's on the run and doesn't want to have bad things happen to him because of that. We'll just leave it there. But I think that he didn't want to be someone who people would just come up to and say, hey, someone, stole my car, will you go fix this for me? And I think that's an interesting dilemma, to have people just know who you are and know they can come to you and know to ask for help. And how do you balance that with larger demands, like I'm sure will come eventually when he teams up with everyone in the Defenders. So I'm really excited about that aspect of the show. Let me know if that stuck out to you as well. If you have seen any other superhero show or movie dealing with this sort of superhero-dom, if you will. So let us know in the comments below. And for all things Luke Cage, make sure you keep it here at IGN. I will be recapping and reviewing every episode, binging along with you, so you can keep an eye on that on IGN.com, and we'll keep up with all our news, theories, Easter eggs, interviews, and more on IGN.